My name is Nicole Rogers. I teach in the Practical Nursing program at Vancouver Community College. Currently, we are working in collaboration with other public colleges to put a number of our courses online with the intention of offering them to students throughout the province. While working through this certificate program, I have been developing Health Promotion Level 3. This course is focused on health promotion as it relates to the continuum of care across the lifespan. Health promotion in the context of mental illness, physical and developmental disabilities, and maternal child health is highlighted. Normal growth and development from conception to middle adulthood is also addressed. The students enrolled in this course are in level 3 of 4 levels of the practical nursing program. They have completed the prerequisites for practical nursing as outlined on the VCC website and then have successfully passed levels 1 and 2 of the practical nursing program. The prerequisites for entry into the program include grade 12 graduation or equivalent, human anatomy and physiology, which is nursing 1602 at VCC with a minimum grade B- or proof of equivalency, English language proficiency, which includes a Canadian language benchmark of listening 8, speaking 8, reading 8, and writing 7. Successful completion of the VCC Health Sciences Math Assessment. There's a great deal of diversity within our practical nursing students. Students come from many different countries and have varied educational backgrounds. Ages of our students ranges from 18 to 65. In a recent group, 30% were men, 65% were ESL, and although I'm not sure of exact numbers, the majority of them are pursuing nursing as a second career. Some of our students have a great deal of experience with technology, while others have little or no computer experience. So this is the main page of my course, Health Promotion 3, and I'll scroll down and show you. Under this introduction section is where I have a number of student supports. One student support I've included is the important course information file. This section has information on the importance of engagement and collaboration in online learning. The reason I included this was to promote student buy-in and to encourage maximum student participation. So here I go on and I cite information from Conrad and Donaldson stating that interaction is essential for a successful online course, and talking about how students will be working in pairs or small groups in order to complete some of their assignments. Other supports include instructor information, here, weekly course schedule, and the Q&A and announcements forums. I use the announcement forum a lot in the other online courses I teach as a way to communicate important course information or interesting and related content that I come across. I find that this is a great way to establish instructor presence. This course includes 4 main assignments. Each of the assignments guides students in achieving one or more of the overall course outcomes, as well as specific learning objectives within several of the course units. By completing all 4 assignments, the students will have met all of the course outcomes by the time they finish the course. The first assignment is the Healthy Minds, Healthy People assignment, which asks students to work in pairs to review a particular document and then decide together on the 3 areas where they think practical nurses are most likely to make a difference in mental health promotion. The second assignment requires the students to visit a community support group and write a report describing the experience. The weekly discussion forum asks students to contribute to the weekly discussion topics in much the same way that we have been doing throughout this program. The case study assignment requires the students to contribute to the case studies included in the first 4 classes. After contributing to all 4 case studies, students must provide a self-assessment that asks them to provide evidence of their constructive contributions, reflect on their learning as a result of contributing to the case studies, and identify 3 course concepts where the most learning occurred for them. What I really like about this particular assignment is that it asks students to make a contribution to each case study, but not complete each one on their own. I was trying to replicate a similar face-to-face group learning activity where students work in groups to complete a case study in class. Case studies are authentic, meaningful learning activities that reflect the constructivist approach that we endeavor to follow in the practical nursing program. It is my hope that the reflection and self-assessment component of this assignment will aid the student in becoming a more active learner, while at the same time encouraging a deeper understanding of important course concepts. The face-to-face version of this course has one assignment, one midterm, and one final exam. Although I kept the main assignment, I didn't feel that multiple choice exams suited the online environment for this particular course. So I had to put a lot of time and effort into developing new assignments. Creating these assignments and then developing the corresponding rubrics was probably the biggest challenge for me in the course development process. In particular, I found the case study assignment very difficult to develop. I knew that I wanted to incorporate these case studies as learning activities, but I also knew that unless I somehow assigned a mark to them, they wouldn't get done. From a workload perspective, it didn't seem realistic to ask the students to hand in 4 separate case studies in addition to 2 other assignments and the weekly discussion forums. It seemed even less realistic to expect an instructor to do all that marking. It was a suggestion from Joanne that led me to structure the assignment in the way that I finally did, and I'm very pleased with the way it has turned out. Though I realize that I may need to adjust it once the first group of students completes the assignment and I see if it actually works in the way I'm anticipating. What surprised me about my skills is how easily I have been able to figure out the technology required throughout this program. Before starting this program, I had never created a blog, a wiki, a video, or a screencast. While I am by no means an expert, I have impressed myself with what I have been able to accomplish. The fact that there are many online tutorials that show how to create or use all of these types of technology has been a great help to me. As I have been teaching online for the past couple of years, I am now quite familiar with Moodle. This has been a real advantage as I have worked on this course. The biggest challenge or hurdle for me has to do with creativity. I find it a challenge to come up with interesting and authentic discussion topics, assignments, and bridges for each class. At this time, the only bridges I have included are the 2 that we were required as part of one of our assignments, so this is something I need to continue working on. If you scroll down here, I've got the assignments section here. And then in topic 1, I have included a pre-course concept review, which reviews some of the key concepts that have been covered in levels 1 and 2 of health promotion. So these are the social determinants of health, Gordon's health promotion framework, and a health promotion review. An interesting thing that I found that I've included was a quiz on the social determinants of health. And I didn't create it, but it is sort of a fun quiz. And I'm going to click on this link here. So this activity has the students drag and drop terms that indicate each of the different types of social determinants of health. And it gives them the opportunity to check their answers. So it's kind of fun, just a quick review of what they've covered in earlier classes. Okay, and go back. And I'm going to go back again. So I've got each of my classes after that listed. You can see here that I have this section, Conception to Newborn. I've created a bridge. Each of my classes is set up the same. I have class objectives, and then I have the content. So in this case, it's prenatal development, prenatal care, labor and delivery, postpartum care, breastfeeding. The first case study, which is social determinants of health in the prenatal period. And it looks like this. So I've got the case study with information about the client, and then in this case, 4 questions that the students can contribute to. And each class also contains the weekly discussion forum. So each of my following classes is set up in exactly the same manner. Some of them have other activities as well. In terms of how my thinking has changed throughout this program, it probably has most to do with developing a sense of community and encouraging collaborative learning amongst the learners in an online course. I have also come to realize how important instructor presence is in the online environment. Prior to this program, it had never occurred to me to plan activities to promote a sense of community, and I couldn't really imagine how online students from different geographical areas could collaborate on assignments. That, of course, was before I learned how easy it is to create wikis or chat via Skype. Although, having said that, at this time, I anticipate that collaboration amongst the students in my course will mainly occur through the included forums and email. I have avoided including too much technology in the students' assignments because I want the focus to be on learning course concepts and not on learning how to use technology. In the future, when more of our students come into the program with more technical savvy, assignments may incorporate greater use of technology, such as blogs, wikis, and other Web 2.0 tools. When I first began teaching online, I made very little effort to be present. What I found was that students were highly anxious and at times almost aggressive. Each online course I have taught since has incorporated more and more instructor presence, with the result being that students are calmer and more engaged in the learning process. I have learned so much while working through the certificate program, particularly once I got into the actual building of my course. I really enjoyed the online interaction with the other learners and appreciated Joanne's support throughout this process. I wish everyone the best of luck as they develop their own online courses.